What else?
Timber and paper.
Timber and paper. Okay.
So
Has anyone
sandalwood.
sandalwood exactly? Has anyone ever recycled paper? Have you guys tried recycling paper?
Sir, like, sorry, my network issues. Can you repeat what did you say?
Like, have you guys tried recycling paper?
Uh,
Mhm.
Yes, sir, I have tried it. Or like, not that much, but I tried.
Okay, okay. Mm. Yeah,
so
Chakrika, you were
once
saying
even
something?
I did.
Yes.
Once even I think I did. I was using the used papers by
Mhm.
coloring them and using for some crafts.
That
Yeah,
is
sir.
that is one way to recycle it. I'm talking about like how in the paper mill the papers are recycled. So for there, what they would be doing now, they would be taking all the used papers. They will be dipping that into water that will be churned and mixed, and they will be um, and you will be obtaining a paste of paper that is called as paper pulp. And then you might have seen in videos like you will be using a mesh, mesh mesh, and then you will dip that into that solution. Okay, now that consists of pulp, and then you will evenly spread that pulp over the mesh, and then you can recycle the paper. Later on, you can remove the ink from it also. So in that manner, paper can be recycled. So you see,
Sir,
yes.
so that way we can make like basically papers which kind of look very old
Hmm.
and a bit strong. They also look brown in color, like that kind of papers.
Exactly, and you will also like find some fibers in that. That kind of paper that is cheap, that is available at a lower cost in the market, and that is basically brown in color. There will be some fibers and it is still a stock. So in that manner, but also if that were to went through more refining, then you will be obtaining a good quality paper. Okay. So anyways, so we were talking about the different type of products we obtain from the forest. So also
Sir,
there are several medicinal plants
favorite
also.
food chain, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Favorite food chain.
Okay, okay. We were talking about food chain also, no? Ha ha ha. That thing also we were talking. Also, talking about this one more thing, like talking about the medicinal plants we obtain from the forest. What are some of the medicinal plants like
Nine, sir.
mint? Yeah,
So tulsi.
Nine.
tulsi. You were saying some of those. Which one?
Medicine.
Okay. Garlic,
Q9 I was.
quinine, quinine also. Garlic is there. Aloe vera is there. You have ginger also, right now. Lavender. These are some
So
of the.
ginseng.
Which one?
Ginseng.
Ginseng.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
What? Okay. What exactly is that? Will you please elaborate?
Um, Sir, it kind of looks like ginger, but it's not actually ginger.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you
It is
saying about
also
this
basically
ginseng?
yes,
This
yes, sir.
ginseng you're saying? Okay. Okay. Continue.
Oh, yes, sir. And like it is also used for herbal care.
Okay. Okay. That is also used for herbal care. Okay.
Yes,
What
sir.
I think of like, it kind of looks like ginger, but has got longer stems as compared to the ginger. It has a
Yes, sir.
longer
It
stem.
looks kind of thin.
It's also thinner than that. Also, um, talking about ginseng now. What are the uses of it, by the way? Ginseng, where is it used? Yes.
Sir, I'm not really sure
Sir,
about that, but I just heard that they are really useful in medicinal care,
In
but
winter
not
season,
in
it is
ritual.
used. In winter season, it is used for treating cold and cough also.
sir,
Sandesh, you were
can you
saying
Yes,
something?
repeat
we can make
the
tea with that,
question?
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can you repeat what was the question, sir?
Uh, Look, what I know, the question was that are the uses of ginseng? What are the uses of this ginseng? That is a medicinal plant.
Okay.
Hmm. See, it is used for a variety of variety of things. What I know of about ginseng is that it is used to help in secretion of certain type of hormones in the human body, especially in the males, right now. So there it is basically used, and helps in immune also. Okay, now it helps in improving the immune system of the body also, right? And also you will find that it is very expensive, right now. It is very
Sir, it
expensive in the
also,
market. Mhm.
sir, it also reduces cholesterol levels, right?
Cholesterol level.
And yes, sir.
It reduces the cholesterol level. Also in the male, it is known to increase the fertility in the male. Okay, now. So those are some of the uses of it. Okay, anyways, let's continue from where we left. We did talk about the food chain in the previous class, right? So that was a simple thing, and I think we were over with that thing. We did completed that thing right now. Okay.
Yes.
Also, make sure you remember some of the names of the medicinal plants. Like you have neem. Neem is a medicinal plant, right? Okay. If you were to obtain timber, if you were to obtain timber, which plants, which trees is preferred to obtain timber? Like will we be obtaining timber from any tree? Yes. There are certain particular trees from where you'd be obtaining timber. By the way, you guys understand what timber means now?
Yes.
Wood that will be used for making furnitures or will be used in the construction process. Basically, a large piece of wood. Okay, now. Hmm. So basically, it will be a further processed into different shapes, like in planks, and then it will be used. From what type of trees you would be obtaining timber? For example, shisham.
Oh,
Yeah, Sundus, Vaiga, Chakrika,
okay. Think
and
so.
hello. Am I audible or
Yes.
not? Huh.
Yes, sir.
Apart from sesame, there are several examples of like teak wood. Teak wood is used. Okay, now like sal tree. Sal tree is used. So these are some of the examples of it. Do remember the name. These are important. These questions are asked sometimes. Okay, now. Okay. Later on, the neem tree. It is a herbal tree also. It is a medicinal plant tree also, and it is used for obtaining timber also. So remember that thing also. Okay, now. Hmm. Has anyone heard of the ebony tree? Yeah, heard of this ebony tree? Hello, you might have heard of the ebony tree. That is very dark and brown in color. Yes.
No, sir.
Okay. So ebony timber is also an example. So do remember that also, and it is mainly found in Sri Lanka. It is mainly found in Sri Lanka, right? Okay. Talking about some medicinal plants, what are some examples of medicinal plants which we obtain from the forest? Yes, Vaiga? Hello. What are
Yes.
Yes,
some
sir.
exam-
What is the question? Can you repeat
what
it
are
again?
some what are some examples of medicinal plants? Hmm. Medicinal plants. We have so many examples of it, like tulsi now. Tulsi is also called
Tulsi.
as
Yeah, sir.
hmm, it is also called as holy basil. Do remember this thing, okay now? Locally, we call this holy basil as tulsi. Okay now? And this plant is on the list of different type of medicinal plants. This is the best plant. This is on top of the list. For curing cough and cold, it is used, and also helps in improving the immunity of the person, right? Okay. Then second is, yes, Sundos. Okay.
Sir, it's Cinchona, one of them.
That is aloe vera. What else?
Sir, Cinchona,
Oh, okay. Will you please spell it?
Cinchona.
Cinchona, exactly. That is also medicinal plant. Yeah, Chakrika. Any other examples?
So ginger.
Ginger, very good. Ginger. We have example of garlic and
So neem.
turmeric. Turmeric, very good. Neem also, right now. And mustard also, no?
Sir, mint will come, right?
Mint also very good. Mint will be
Sir,
counted
like,
in it.
is cinnamon one of the medical plant?
Cinnamon is also having medicinal properties. Very good. Cinnamon is also counted in it. Okay, no? Cinnamon is also counted in it. And cinnamon is actually a spice now, but it has some herbal properties also, right? Cinnamon is also there. What others? We have n number of examples. You have so many examples. For example, you have example of lavender also. That is also a medicinal plant. So I think that is sufficient. So these are some of the examples of medicinal plants. Okay, if I were to ask you, from what type of plants you would be obtaining oil? Yes, in order to obtain oil, what type of
Yes.
plants are
So like,
there in the forest?
we have to name the plant
You have to
or
name
like
the
the type
plant.
of oil.
No, no, the plant from where you obtain the oil.
Sir, I have one, but like I don't know what the plant is.
Like, namely, like you have mustard now. Mustard
Yes,
oil
sir.
is there.
Also olive oil.
Olive plant is also there. In fact, sandalwood also. Huh? From sandalwood
Sir,
also oil is obtained.
sir,
Yes, Sundas,
almond.
please.
Sunflower seeds.
Almond also, exactly. Sunflower also,
So
sunflower seeds.
groundnut.
Groundnut, very good. Groundnut plant. What else? As a you were mentioning almond. Okay, I've written that. What are some other examples?
Sir, do you know rosewood?
Rosewood. From rosewood also, I think it is obtained. From rosewood, it is obtained.
The
One of the
sunflower.
sunflower. Sunflower that was missing. Sunflower from palm tree. Yeah, from that also oil is obtained.
Yes, sir.
And we have example of soybean plant now. Soya oil, soybean plant, from that also oil is obtained, right? So these are some of the different examples from where oil is obtained. These are called as oil plants or oil crops, right? One of flax oil is also there now. Flax seeds, you might have heard of it. Yeah. Okay, now. Now, apart from these common examples, you might have heard of mint oil also. Have you heard of mint oil? MINT, mint oil.
Oh, sir.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Mm-hmm. Mint oil is also there. Okay, now. So we would be counting that also. Mint.
Sir.
Yes.
So while writing these examples, should we write all of them or
No, if you were to
five?
just remember few of them, no, that will be sufficient. Okay, no.
So
Just
like five.
remember few of them. Like 5 of them will be sufficient. You
Okay,
could
sir.
remember the example like mustard, olive plant, sandalwood, almond, groundnut. Remember any 5 of them. Also, um, some of them are vegetable oil, while some of them will be used to apply over the skin. Okay, no, like that. But almost all of them are edible. Talking about like palm oil. Yeah, palm oil. that can be used for the purpose of cooking also, but normally we don't use it for that purpose. Okay, hope that is clear.
Sir, the
Yes.
most common thing we forgot, coconut oil.
I think the palm oil and the coconut oil are the same thing. Yeah.
Sir, palm oil is like from another tree, right? I think they're different. I'm not sure.
Okay. Palm oil you're saying. No, huh? Palm tree is different from coconut. Exactly, exactly. Okay. Coconut oil,
So,
very good. Mm-hmm. Palm tree, you'd see like there are fruits from it. The tree looks similar to the coconut tree, thereby I got confused. But it will be producing this palm. It will be red fruits, growing red fruits right now. So that is palm. Okay, now. Okay, are there any other category from it? Like first of all, we did talked about timber. You have the timber, you have the medicinal plants, you have the oil. Is there any other category? Normally we have these categories. Okay, now. All right. Now continuing further, let's to talk about like deforestation and how it is impacting the forest, how it is impacting the
sir, do you want
environment.
the previous line once?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, done.
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Okay. Talking about the deforestation, how deforestation is harming the environment, how it is impacting the life of plants and the animals. Okay, now. So let's understand this thing. Deforestation, it is basically the practice of clearing the forest, basically cutting all the forest. That is what deforestation is. And if I were to cut a tree in my garden, that won't be considered as deforestation. Okay? So deforestation is considered as clearing of forest land for some industrial purposes or for construction of homes, right? So throughout history, we have seen that deforestation have been practiced throughout the history. To the modern day, deforestation is being practiced. Why? Because the human population is increasing day by day. Uh, what is the population of human right now? How many people are there on earth at now? Population of world is how much? How many people are there? The data of two.
So
Yes,
it was 8 billion, I think so.
it was 8 billion. Very good. Right now, the population of the world is
Sir, I
8 billion.
also
Right?
discovered something that
What?
at least two people are born, I mean, two babies are born in 1 second.
Okay,
Someone
that is
told me, sir, 60
Mhm.
babies are born in
Okay. Yeah. So those are some of the interesting facts about it. In fact, due to the discovery of in the there have been exponential development in the field of medicine. So thereby, the mortality rate has decreased. Right now, lesser number of people are dying. If you were to look in the to 1950s. Okay, now if you were to see in the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries, in these centuries, more people were dying. Yeah. This when there was a newborn baby, there were lesser chances of the survival of the baby, right? Why? Because there were widespread diseases. There were so many diseases for which vaccines were not developed, antibiotics were not developed. For example, earlier, so many people used to die from, for example, polio virus. People were dying even from fever. People were dying from cold. People were dying from influenza. Right now, people were dying from um, normal diseases because medicines were not developed back then. But now there have been development in the field of medicine, so thereby now people are getting cured with the help of medicines. So hence, mortality rate has decreased. Anyone understand what does mortality rate mean? Mortality rate is basically the rate at which people are dying,
Of the death.
right? So
Yes,
the number
basically the
of,
rate of the death, right?
basically the,
Rate of the death.
exactly, basically the rate of death rate. So the number of death that is occurring in a given period of time in a given place, that is called as mortality rate, right now. Okay, so talking about mortality rate, uh, is it increasing or decreasing?
So
Is it
decreasing, I guess.
mortality rate is decreasing? Very good.
Decreasing.
It is decreasing, right? Talking about in India, if I were to quote the data of 2021, death rate in India was, you know how much? Per thousand people living in India, how many people were dying? 9.45 deaths were happening. 9.45 deaths were happening per thousand inhabitants. Now you say, why I've taken it in decimals? Huh? Why I have taken in decimals? See, if you were to multiply the figures with 100, say let's take it to be multiplied with 100, so thereby two more zeros will come. There is a 1 lakh person now. This is 1 lakh, and now this is 9.45 multiplied with 100 will be 945. So it means per 1 lakh persons, 945 persons were dying in India in the year 2021. Getting this thing or not? Okay, no?
Yes, sir.
So that is the thing, that is the mortality rate of India in the year 2021. But now it has increased in India. Okay, now recently it has increased. Anyways, coming back to our topic, what we were discussing, we were talking about deforestation. So how population is related to deforestation? Because more population means more area needs to be inhabited, but the land is a limited entity. Land is not expanding, right? So thereby forest has to be cleared in order to make spaces. So thereby forests are being cleared for construction purposes, for agricultural purposes also, for grazing the cattle, for grazing the livestock, for illegal logging is also there. Huh? You know, certain companies have got license to to cut the forest, but there are certain companies that do not have the license. So thereby they are illegally cutting also, right? So certain areas have been are prohibited area, prohibited land where the deforestation should not be practiced, but even there illegal logging is being done. Human infrastructure expansion, human settlements are nowadays expanded even to the forest. You might have seen like people are making their farmhouses even in the mid of the forest. Yeah, so that is also one of the reason. Okay, now then overpopulation, obviously this will be triggering all the other factors. All the above reasons are related to overpopulation. Getting it now, Sundus? Why can't Chigrika? Is Sundus here or not? I think he's having network issues. Any questions so far?
No, sir. Sir, actually, can I just leave the meeting because I have exams tomorrow, so I have to revise like the chapters.
Okay, okay. Which chapter is coming, by the way?
Like I'm having Arabic.
Arabic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. You are having Arabic, Vaiga.
Yes, I'm studying in UAE, so it's compulsory to study.
Okay, okay, okay. Any other paper also you're having tomorrow?
No, sir, like only Arabic, like it's my exam.
Okay, okay. No issue, no issue. Okay, no?
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Okay, no issue. So these are the
Sir,
reasons.
so I didn't join. I had network issues. I didn't ask for permission.
Okay, okay. No issue, no issue. So we were doing discussing the same thing. Okay, no? We were discussing the same thing. If there's any question so far in it, please do let me know. Or else we will be continuing with the next topic then. Talking about what are the consequences of deforestation. Yeah, Chakrika, what do you think? What are the consequences of deforestation?
So we won't have enough oxygen,
Hmm.
and
Obviously.
So rain, like rain, enough rain.
The
Because
flood
the
will happen.
In the sense like it
fl-
won't basically rain thoroughly or oftenly.
Mhm. And Santosh, you were saying flood. Good. Flood will
Yes,
also
sir.
happen because of it. So basically, it will be disturbing the water cycle. It will be
Sir, and
disturbing the water
also,
cycle. Hmm.
is there any chance that the rate of, I mean, I think that there might be a rate of carbon dioxide, I mean, there might be chances of carbon dioxide rate
Hmm.
increasing.
Exactly, because we know for a matter of fact that a plant can store up to 150 kilogram of carbon in its lifetime. A full-grown plant can store up that much amount of carbon dioxide in its lifetime. Right now,
The soil erosion will happen.
soil erosion will also happen. Very good. Yeah. Pollution will also be increasing as the decrease in plants will lead to um, lesser amount of oxygen in the air and more amount of carbon dioxide. Right now, not in that context. I mean to say, obviously, if you were to look at the composition of oxygen, it is 21%, which is far more than the level of carbon dioxide. Right now, but then the balance will be disturbed. Right now, there is 0.04% of carbon dioxide and 21% of oxygen. If more and more deforestation is to be done, then this level will go up higher, and that will further lead to global warming also. Right. Also, we won't be having fresh air to breathe, and then you would be seeing that even the groundwater level will be lowered down. Huh? Then see, for certain given area, if all the forests were to be cleared, huh? Now due to that, what will happen now? The process of
Sir, I have another one.
desertification. Yes,
Sir, I have another one.
we have another one. I didn't
Yes,
heard
sir.
it, bro. Yeah,
Yes,
which one?
sir. I was just about to say, sir, as there are no forests available, like um, the animals which are living in the forest, they'll have no home, no habitat. So they'll be coming into the cities.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and there they will be hunted by the animals. Huh? You might have seen several videos like there would be lions roaming in the streets. In certain videos, you might have seen. Uh, so we humans are depriving them of their natural habitats, right now. So thereby they are now left to move towards the cities. So that will also happen. Basically, loss of habitat, that will also happen. Getting it now. So hence, in order to stop these things, we need to have some measures to conserve the forest and the wildlife in the forest. So many NGOs will be taking certain steps in order to reverse the damage we have done. In fact, it is like very difficult to reverse the damage we have done, but we can stop the further damage. So NGOs will be there that will be educating the people, that they will be helping to spread awareness among the people in order to conserve this depleting forest resource. Okay, now. So these are no, the falling damages that is being caused due to deforestation. Basically, we know that the plants are the source of conversion of carbon dioxide, okay, no, to produce oxygen, right? And they this is basically done in the process of photosynthesis, where carbon dioxide is taken, and then in the process where, apart from glucose, oxygen is also released into the environment. Getting it now? So when this process will not be done, no, so thereby, when carbon dioxide will not be taken up from the air, there will be increased concentration of CO2 molecules in the air, and that will lead to global warming. Pollution will increase when there will be decrease in plants. Okay, now groundwater level will also get lowered down, and desertification will also be happening. Okay, now so let's understand in detail about groundwater level getting lowered down and how the process of desertification takes place. But before that, we would be studying about few more things. Okay, now before we move on to that. Okay. How about we take some questions? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You guys tell me, like, how much percentage of land on Earth is covered by forest?
31%.
31%. Good.
Person.
Okay. Chikrika, define what do you mean by forest?
Yeah. So, it is a large area which is covered with trees and plants,
Okay.
and the plants and the trees in the forest are grown on their own.
Hmm.
Basically, no one plants them, and a forest is like basically like it forms a complete ecosystem, a
Mm-hmm.
habitat that includes various living organisms, animals, birds, and all of that. And also, sir, the the Latin name of forest is forest.
Forest, exactly. So the out of these three options, the first one is correct. That is forest. Very good.
Forest.
Okay, that is Latin term. Okay. Now, if you were required to make rubber sundas, what you would be using? Will you be using latex? Latex? Will you be using resin in order to make rubber?
The
In
what?
order to
Sorry.
in order to in order to make rubber, RUBBER, will you be using latex or resin?
The latex.
Latex. Okay. And Chakrika, resin is it used to make paint or is it used to make plastic? Resin will be used to make
Paint.
paint. Okay, na? So
Okay.
do remember
Okay.
that thing also. Okay. Do tell me, I have some trees here. For example, I have sal tree. I have teak wood, teak plant. I have mahogany. Hmm. So for what purposes I would be using these trees? Huh, Sundus? For what purpose I would be using these trees? Sal, teak, mahogany. Take example of neem also. Hello.
Uh, Furniture.
Mm-hmm. Obviously,
Furniture.
obviously furniture. Basically, it means we are using it for what purpose, Chakrika? For timber now,
Yes, to obtain timber.
to obtain timber from it. Okay, so that is another thing. Okay, I'm also mentioning some more. For example, in the medicinal plants, you guys know, like, there's one more plant, amla. Have you heard of it?
Yes,
A
sir.
M
Yes,
L
I
A,
do.
amla, right now. Okay, so amla and the neem, amla, neem. For what purpose I would be using these plants?
So like for health.
Medicinal.
For medicinal
Medicine.
purposes. Good. Okay. Apart from
So I think
oil,
sir,
is there
this is
any?
about to tell something.
Sundar, you were saying something?
Phonetics.
Will you please repeat that? I didn't heard it properly.
I said things.
Okay, okay, no, sure. Now, you guys know, like, coconut. Coconut is not just used to obtain oil. Apart from that, also we obtain one more thing from the coconut. You might have seen, like, in the construction purposes, people would be using certain type of ropes.
Yes, sir. They're made from the
Coir.
coconut. Well,
Okay, no?
yes, sir, I think yeah.
Coir is the fibrous thing we obtain from the coconut, and that is used to make a rope. In fact, it will be used to make doormats also, right? and mattresses also. Getting it,
Sir,
Sundus and Chikrika. Yeah.
Yes.
sir, I also heard that the flower in the coconut,
Mhm.
if for suppose if we have a flower in the coconut, they say that, and if we eat the flower, it's good for our um, immune system or like something.
Coconut flower, you are saying
Yes,
it is
sir.
good for the immune system.
Yes, sir, I think. But like they say it's good for our health.
Ah, exactly, it is. You're basically talking about the white, fleshy part inside the coconut. So that is edible
No,
actually.
sir.
Or
No, sir, the flower.
okay, you're talking about the
Outside,
flower. Okay, I got it. I got it. Sundus, you were saying something. When it is yellow, then yeah, you're talking about when it is still yellow, when it isn't converted into
No,
a
sir.
full-grown coconut.
So suppose we get a
Mhm.
flower in the coconut itself, right?
Okay, inside it you are
That
talking about.
flower.
Okay, I
Yes,
got
sir.
it. I got it.
Yes, sir.
Inside the coconut, now it will be like this. Like this is coconut, and inside it, this is the fleshy part, and then again you would be having one more thing in it, like this. Okay, that is actually white
So
in
not
color.
entirely, but just a little part of it.
Ha ha ha. Like
Yes,
it
sir.
is in a certain part of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Huh. It has several health benefits. For example, it consists of several type of minerals in it. So there are so many minerals found in it. For example, it is rich in calcium. It is said to be rich in calcium. It is also said to be rich in manganese, manganese, magnesium. So these are some of the minerals found in it. Okay, na? And it will be having some sugar in it
So,
also. So it will be having also dietary fibers are also present in it, so thereby it will be helping in the process of digestion also. Yeah. Sandus, yeah, Chakrika.
sir, talking about magnesium,
Mhm.
like what is the chemical form, chemical name for milk of magnesia?
Milk of magnesia.
Magnesia. Yes, sir.
Milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia, I think it is mgh hold, I think. Milk of magnesia is-
MgOH, right? So,
milk of magnesia, I think it is mgOH hold, I think. Milk of magnesium, as you are saying, no, it is basically magnesium hydroxide.
okay, sir.
Magnesium hydroxide. When
So
you say
basically,
mg, no, yeah,
MgOH.
mgh whole 2, not just mgOh.
Okay, sir.
It is
Okay, sir.
mgOh whole 2.
Okay,
Mgu
sir.
is only magnesium oxide. This
Yes,
is only
sir.
magnesium oxide. Okay, no?
Yes, sir. But if it's hydroxide, we'll
Huh.
put OX.
Exactly. Okay, no? Or it is used. You might have seen it. Like you might have seen.
It's
It
for
comes in blue.
indigestion, right, sir?
It's for
Indigestion, right?
indigestion. Exactly. It will be taking in that thing. It is actually antacid. Okay, no?
Yes, sir.
So basically, if someone is having a upset the stomach, so thereby it can be used. Okay, now. So like basically in constipation, for or to cure constipation, it is used. Hmm. Okay, back to what we were talking about. Um, so we did saw few questions over here. If there's any questions so far, please do let me know. Also, like what would be the opposite of deforestation called as?
afforestation.
Afforestation. Very good.
Yes.
Hmm. Now there were several movements that were related to this. Okay, no? Like they were uh,
Chipko movement.
Chipko movement was there, Bishnoi movement was there, right now. So let's do talk about them for a while, and then we will continue further. Okay, now. Talking about the forest movements, particularly in India. So one of the very famous is the Chipko Andolan, which you have. who and it was started by Sundar Lal Bahugana. Have you heard of its name?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I've
sir.
heard it.
Very good. Forest saving movement, and the father of the movement was Sundar Lal Bahugana. Okay. Anyone who would like to add few points to it? Yeah. What was Chipko movement? Why it was being why it came into practice? Yes.
I think I know some points.
Yeah, you can add the points. Yeah.
Sir, they invented the Chipko movement because the people they were cutting the forest. I mean, they were cutting the trees to make more space,
Mm-hmm.
to create more space. So Sundarlal, I don't know how to spell the other one. So
Sundar Lal
he
Bahugana.
Bahugana,
Bahugana. Ha,
Gana. Okay, yes, sir.
correct.
Sundarlal Bahugana. He invented basically this movement, which is where the tribal village people, they hug the trees and they save them so that they won't cut the trees. Like if they have to cut the trees, it means they have to kill the people.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
they
That was
used
the
to hug
motive.
the trees.
Hmm.
They used to hug the trees and they used to protect the trees, but like so still some people died while
Hmm.
protecting all those trees in the
Hmm.
forests.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Now, see this happened. Sundus, you would also like to add points to it? Yes, Sundus.
The chapter one, I don't have any.
Okay. So see, this movement took place in Uttarakhand. Where it happened? The place where it happened was Uttarakhand. Okay, now I think this happened in the year in 1970s. It happened. This happened in 1970s. So before this also there were several movements. Before the Chipko movement also there were several movements that happened. So the background is like this. In the year 1964, there was a person. Okay, now there was a person who was basically a social worker. Okay, now he also had a aim to set up a small industries using the resources of the forest. Okay, now so there was a person who initially had the aim of setting up small industries, and thereby he would be using the resources of the forest, right? So his initial aim was that he would be opening a small workshop, and he would be making farm tools for local use. Okay, no. So there also people protested against that person. Okay, no. So he had to face restriction from the local population over there, right? So thereby, if you if you guys know that since the British era, there was a contractor system um, in India who were basically meant to cut the forest in order to provide timber. Like Britishers were mainly responsible for laying the lane tra- um, train lanes in India, right now. Railway tracks, basically, I'm talking about rail tracks. Most of them were laid by the Britishers in India. For that purposes, wood was required. So thereby they would be giving contractors to different persons in order to cut the wood from the forest, right? So certain forests were home to different tribal communities. Right now, in the hilly areas, you would be knowing that mainly survival of people is dependent on the forest. Right now, for example, in the Himalayas, in the Garhwal Himalayas, hmm, in the Garhwal Himalayas, and for example near the Badrinath here in Uttarakhand, there people were obtaining different products from the forest. Basically, all their needs were coming from the forest. So they are basically the movement initially started from there, but it It gained popularity in the 1970s when it was initiated by Sundar Lal Bahuguna. So the movement was basically uh, it was the movement in order to stop the timber contractors from cutting the woods from the forest, right? So that was the thing in it. Apart from that, there have been one more movement that is called as Apico movement. Anyone heard of this movement, by the way?
I just heard the name, the
Up,
actual reason behind it.
Apico movement. Any idea like what was this? Sundus? See, it
So
was also. Mhm. Yes. Hello. See, look, in the year now, in the year 1885 or
19
1883. Hello, guys, am I audible to everyone in the class or not?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. Sundus, you were saying something.
so sorry, network issues.
Okay.
You
So
can hear
see.
me, sir?
Mm-hmm. You're
Can you
audible.
hear me?
You are audible. You are audible. You are audible. Okay, now see, basically this movement initially started in the Karnataka. It has started in the Karnataka state, and this happened in the year 1983. Okay, so there was an environmental activist living in Karnataka. Okay, and in Karnataka, Kannada language is there. You all would be aware, like in Karnataka, Kannada language is there. Okay, now so in
Yes, sir.
Kannada, na, in Kannada, apiko means what? Apiko means hug. HUG, hug. Okay, now so that is
Okay.
also symbolizing the protection of tree. Okay, so basically in the year 1983, women under the leadership of this person, whose name was, main person involved in this was Panduranga Hegde. So under the leadership of the Panduranga Hegde in the year 1983, women of the Karnataka region, they decided to launch a movement that was similar to Chipko movement. The only difference was that it was launched in the southern part of India, while this happened in the northern part of India, that is in Uttarakhand. So the movement was led by this person, and the aim of the movement was to conserve the trees of a particular forest in Karnataka, right? So women and youth from different villages, they walked to the nearby forest and they hugged trees there, and they forced the contractors out of the forest, right? And this eventually led the forest department to stop cutting the forest, to stop cutting the trees. And the people, they basically demanded a ban on the cutting of the forest, right? And all this movement, it continued for 38 days, and the demands were to cutting stop cutting the forest, right? So like the Chipko movement, the Apiko movement was also another movement to conserve the forest, and it was a kind of a Gandhian way to conserve the environment. Gandhian policy, what does it says? It basically is based on non-violence, right? What was the way of protest conducted by Gandhiji? It was basically following non-violence, right now. So these two were Gandhian way of protesting. Getting it? What I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no. So that was another thing. And the effect of the Apico movement was that it saved the forces of that area, and not just forest, but also we know that people are dependent upon forest in numerous ways, right? For example, people would be obtaining bamboo wood from the forest, and you might have seen like people would be making so many handicraft items from the bamboo now. and they would be selling that in the market to earn some livelihood. Yes. So in numerous ways that help the people of the nearby areas. Okay, if there's any question in it, please do let me know.
Sir,
Any questions?
Sir, it basic. Since you
Okay.
can go for.
Okay, Sundus.
oh, Chakri can continue.
Okay, sir. So basically, the Apiko movement, it continued for 38 days.
It continued for 38 days.
So after that, what happened, sir?
After that, basically what happened, the forest department, they had to stop cutting the forest. Okay, now this happened in the year 1983. Now basically what happened now, see, if I were to particular, it happened in August month of year 1983. So the villagers of a particular village, the name of the village, I think it was Sirsi Taluk. Sirsi Taluk, that is not very important, but just know it was Sirsi Taluk. It was a village in Karnataka. They requested the forest department not to continue the cutting of the forest. Okay, now why? Because people's livelihood were dependent on forest. As I told, like people were obtaining bamboo from the forest in order to make handicraft items from it and sell it in the market to earn some livelihood. But the forest, however, will not paying any attention to the request of the villagers, right? And they were clearly illegally cutting the forest, and the contractors kept on cutting the forest. So now the villagers felt that they will have to launch a similar movement as the Chipko movement right now. So in the next month, that is in the September month of 1983, they went to their nearby forest. Women's and even the youths were involved in it. Now, okay, now so women's and youths. Okay, so they went to the nearby forest, and thereby they basically started to hug the forest in order to stop the contractors from cutting the forest, right? Because we know that farmers and the women's, their livelihood was basically dependent upon forest of that particular village, especially Uttara village, Uttara Kannada village, Uttara Kannada village. They would be obtaining like a firewood from the forest. They would be obtaining fodder to feed their cattle. They would be obtaining honey from the forest and sell it in the market. So their livelihood was like almost dependent on the forest, and that was very badly hit. Okay, no? So that is the thing. Hope that is clear.
Can you uh, the African leader? I can't understand the handwriting.
Sundus, will you please repeat that again?
Sir, can you tell me the leader of African movement? I didn't like got to know the name. But I mean, like I didn't understand your handwriting. What is written?
Okay. See, basically what happened in August month of 1983. Okay, people went there to the forest department to request them to stop cutting the forest, but they didn't listen. So 1 month later, in the September of 1983, they went on to launch a similar movement as Chipko movement. Okay, no, so that was basically the date here. I hope that is the question you were asking.
Sir, I was asking the leader of African movement.
The leader, okay,
The
sorry. It was Panduranga Hegde.
So,
Panduranga Hegde. Yes.
sir, also, it is Uttara Kannada, right? Or Uttar Kannada?
It's Uttara Kannada. Uttara. Uttara Kannada.
Uh,
Kannad.
Sir, in
Okay,
our
no?
language, Uttara means east.
East.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So you are from Karnataka.
No, sir. I'm
You are from?
from Telangana and Andhra.
Okay.
So, yeah,
So it means East Kannada then. Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess so, sir.
Hmm. right? So that is the thing. So you can also look here, like how people are basically hugging to the forest in order to protect them from being cut, right? And apart from these, also there have been several other movements also being launched in India, right now. Like you have Namantra Andolan also, that also happened here in India, right now. So we have some other examples of also movement where people were basically protecting the forest from illegal cutting, right now. Now let's continue from here. We were talking about this thing. See, here in the image clearly you can see the impacts of deforestation. You would be seeing that the land has been basically, the topsoil has been carried by the flood water, right now. So earlier this land must have been covered with the dense forest, but now since it was cut, so you'd see when there was a heavy rain, when there was a heavy flood, the topsoil have been basically eroded. You can clearly see that. In the other images also we can see that. So that is the impact of it. Now how the groundwater level will go down, that is another question. So see, when there is dense vegetation in the given area, so basically what will happen, the moisture from the soil will not be lost, but the moisture from the plant will be lost. Huh? Okay, no. Basically the thing is that the soil is not under the direct exposure of the sun. Also the plants will help further in water cycle, so thereby the water that is being taken up from the soil by the plants and then lost into the environment, into the air, it will again be recharged with the rainfall. But once some contractor were to cut all these forests, it is basically empty right now. So thereby more evaporation will take place here, right? More evaporation will take place, so thereby soil will be drier right now. Further say that even these grasses are grazed by some animals. Even these are grazed by the cattle, by the sheep, by the some other omnivorous animals, herbivorous animals also. So later on, what will happen? This will start the process of desertification. Desertification. Okay, no? Desertification will happen here. Also, we would be getting to see now the water table will start going down, because you know that trees basically trees will be helping in recharging groundwater also. Trees basically helping
So
recharging groundwater. Yeah.
I didn't get it. Can you explain again?
See, I meant to say here that, see, there's a dense vegetation cover here, dense forest is there. Okay. So forest, you know that will be helping in water cycle. Rainfall will happen. Okay. Now you can clearly see here that the soil is wet. Okay. Also because it is not under the direct exposure of the sun, and also the plants are helping in water cycle, so whatever water will be lost from the soil, okay, now via the transpiration process, basically water will be taken up by the plant, and plant loses into the loses that water in the